Welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. Today we're going to talk about a few books, some knowledge that you might want to delve into. If you've been following me, you want to understand what I talk about, where it all comes from. These are three books that you should read. These are like, you could consider these the Bible. That one, that one, and this one. The most amazing books I've ever bought and ever read, for me anyway. Even Plato's Dialogues is, I love that book as well, and even, there's lots of books I love, but even Hermes, Iliad, and the what's the other one? Whatever it is, can't remember. But you really want to get this book, eh? You want to read it and read it and read it again. Okay? All the secrets. Oh, it's all about rebirth in here. This one's got a lot of information on the physics of Earth. Okay? You read these books and understand how I describe the Earth. You'll get a full understanding of everything. Okay, I'm going to read some of this. I'd love to read the whole thing, but you need to get this book and read it yourself. I bought the whole three of these in Cairo when I was in Egypt. I got these three books out of a bookstore over there. Man, have I never regretted it. I'll just read a few passages, give you an idea. It starts off, I'll translate as forward, but whoever wrote this knows. The heart of the Hermetic teaching contained in this book is the realization that the individual is fundamentally no different from the Supreme. This realization is Nous, a single, immediate event characterized as a second birth. This teaching outlines the spiritual path that prepares the way for this Nous, which is not achieved by any effort of the ordinary mind. Okay? I've been talking about this a lot in my videos. It's the pairing, mind and heart, reaching singularity, a most divine event. In what terrible way do the ignorant go wrong, said I, that they have been deprived of immortality? He said, you seem not to have taken heed of the things you have heard. Did I not tell you to keep these things in mind? Thank you, I replied, I will do so and remember. He continued, if you have remembered, tell me, why are those who are in death worthy of death? I replied, because the grim darkness is the first origin of one's own body, from which darkness arose the watery nature, from which darkness the body is formed in the sensory world of which death drinks. It's a bit deep, that one. Man is born into darkness, okay, until you go through your Nous and gain the Nous. The Nous, raise your soul to get this Nous. Knowledge, Nous. What do we got here? If the bodiless is divided, it is endowed with being. If it is God, it stands apart from being. Otherwise, it would be perceptible. For us, God is the highest perception, but not for him. For that which is perceived by the senses of the perceiver. Therefore God is not perceived by himself, however, in that he is not other than that which is perceived. He does perceive himself. Talking about the man is mind, I think, there. And never become God. The supreme good is not at all alien to God. It is inseparable from him, as it is God himself. Full stop. All the other immortal gods are honoured by the name of God. However, God is good, not by being honoured, but by his nature. For the nature of God is one, supreme goodness. God and goodness are one generative power, from which come all generations. He who gives all and takes nothing is good. God gives all and takes nothing. So God is the supreme good, and the supreme good is God. What have I been saying in my videos? God is good. I read this years ago. What have we got here? The other name is that of the Father, by virtue of him being the author of all things. So you've got to consider the Father as the black hole and all the action around it. It's the voidance zone, all that action around the Father. Because the sun is on the horizon of the Father, the black hole. For the Father's nature is to create. Therefore, some people mightn't like this one. You know, in the Bible it says, go forth and multiply. Yeah, well, I'll start that again. The other name is that of the Father, by virtue of him being the author of all things. For the Father's nature is to create. Therefore the raising of children is held in the greatest esteem in the life and most blessed by right-thinking people. And the greatest misfortune and impiety is when someone departs from mankind without children, for he suffers punishment after death from the divine powers. This is the retribution, that the soul without children is condemned to a body that is neither male nor female, and is cursed by the sun. Therefore, Asclepius, do not congratulate anyone without children, but rather take pity on his misfortune, knowing what punishment awaits him. Let this much be spoken as a foretaste to the understanding of the nature of all, or of the all. So down here it goes, there is substantial evidence that a portion of the opening of Book 2 of the Corpus Hermeticum, as well as the entire intervening book, have been lost from the manuscripts. In manuscripts that contain titles for Tat. What follows in the manuscripts, however, is addressed to Asclepius, suggesting at an early point a treatise was lost. Additional another one. All beings were undefined and unwrought. The light elements were then separated off and raised on high, and the heavy were founded firmly upon the watery sand. Okay, all beings were defined and upwrought. The light elements were then separated off the raised on high. Now we're going back to the physics here. The tropical gap, what's going on here, the purification, the recycling of the earth. I've been over it plenty of times in my videos. All beings were undefined and upright. It's a recycling system. The light elements were then separated. They fall back to the earth. This is why we've got deserts, sand areas either side of the tropics there. where all the waste falls as the water molecule goes up off the earth and purifies. It all comes from the earth and goes up through this tropical region. What does it say here? And the heavy were founded firmly upon the watery sand. All was distinguished by fire. It's burnt out of here. This is the radiation science talks about. It's all through magnetism actually, North and South Pole, it's all through here. That's what they call the fire. All was distinguished by fire. All was raised up to be supported by the breath of life. The vault of heaven appeared in 7 circles. So it goes up through, you're going through the inert gaseous layers. They're changing their states before it's completely shredded and then comes through the sun. And then the mist drops back to the centre Arctic where you get the pure water related to the Buford Gaia. The vault of heaven appears in 7 circles, and the gods appeared in the form of stars with all their constellations, and heaven with the gods was complete in every detail. The universe was encompassed by air and substance on its circular course by divine spirit. All connected to up here, all the stars in here. It's just the pure water. The purest of water gets right up in here. Pure hydrogen, helium, creates the sun of course. It's the recycling system of Earth. It's sort of touching on it there, but it's going a bit deep. What have we got here? Being supremely good, he set it up in dedication to the one alone, and he wished to adorn the earth as the form of the body of God. He sent down man, a mortal being, from an immortal being. The cosmos rules over the life of living beings, and man rules over the cosmos by means of speech and nous. For man becomes the witness of God's work, and he worshipped the Creator and came to know him. Okay, the reborn man, the rebirth, the man will know all about this. You have to realise speech, it's all sound. We create the world around us through sound, through speech, because it's all in the mind. If you're saying negative things, it feeds into your mind. There's someone out there at the internet at the moment having a meltdown. A lot of bitterness coming out of his mouth. It's only going to cook him. Therefore, O Tet, God has given the word to all men to partake in, but not so with Nous. He was not jealous for jealousy of anyone, does not originate from there, but is created in the souls of men who have no Nous. The perceptions of these people are like those of dumb animals. Let's go up a bit. Those who missed the proclamation... Okay, let's start at the top here. Plunge into the bowl. Oh, go back. Let's go back a little bit. Oh, I was supposed to have read all this. Then why, O Father, has God not given to everyone a share of Nous? He willed, my son, to set it up as a prize before souls. Seek and ye shall find. You have to work for it. And where did he set it up? He filled a great bowl with Nous and sent it down, and he appointed a herald to make this announcement to the hearts of men. Okay, got to be in the right state of mind to receive that bowl. Probably something to do with the bowl you see in the ancient Egyptian depictions. You know, they were showing a bowl, aren't they? Plunge into the bowl if you can, having faith that you will raise to him that sent down the bowl, realizing why you came into being. Those who heard the proclamation merged with Nous, partook of higher knowledge and became perfect and complete, since they had received Nous. Those who missed the proclamation had the world but had not received Nous, ignorant as they were as to why they were born and from whom. The perceptions of these people are like those of dumb animals, having a mixture of rage and lust. They do not value things worthy of their attention, but turn to the pleasures and appetites of the body, believing that man was born for that reason. Those who partook in the gift of God, O Tate, are immortal rather than mortal, if one considers their works. They comprehend all in their Nous, whatever is on earth, in heaven and beyond heaven. Having thus raised themselves, they see the supreme good, and realizing that, they regard time spent here as a misfortune. Disregarding the gross and the subtle, they hasten to the one alone. You've been sacrificed, in other words, okay? And you come to realize you're surrounded by the flippin' drongos. Can't wait to get to singularity, heaven, but you can't commit suicide. Nobody can do that. This tat, is the knowledge of Nous and the vision of what comes from God. It is the perception of God, since the bowl is of God. Here. These things being so, Tat, the things of God have always belonged and will always belong to us. May what comes from us accord with that, and may there be no delay. Since God is not the cause of evils, we are to blame, preferring these things to what is good. Do you see, O son, how many bodies we have to pass through, how many bands of demons, through how many series of repetitions and cycles of the stars, before we hasten to the one alone? All this has to be crossed. The supreme good is unlimited, and it has no beginning and no end. But to us it appears that knowledge has a beginning. It's all about reincarnation, you see. Over and over and over again. See what time's got left here. I'm only at 18 minutes, a bit of time left. What have we got here? Book 5, Hermes to Tat. This teaching also I shall fully expand to you, O Tat, so that you are not shut off from God, who is too great for a name, too great for a name. Understand that what appears unmanifest to many will become most evident to you, for it would not exist if it were not manifest to you. Everything that is manifest has been brought into being, for it has been brought to light. Everything is of the light. However, this could be talking about the mind there. However, the unmanifested exists always. It does not need to appear, for it exists always, and it makes everything else manifest. Of the mind, you see. Though it itself is unmanifest, since it always is. That which makes manifest is not itself made manifest, for it has not been brought forth, but it brings all images to the mind in imagination. Things that are begotten belong only to the imagination, for imagination is nothing but begetting. Few are the seeds of God, but they are mighty, beautiful and good. Virtue, self-control and devotion to God. Devotion to God is knowledge of God. He who has discovered it is filled with all that is good, and he is endowed with divine understanding, which is not like the understanding of the multitude. Therefore those who are seated in knowledge neither please the multitude, nor does the multitude please them. Okay? So if you're full of knowledge, you just get all these dummies like this clan of Dan jumping on your site, being complete ignoramuses. They seem to be mad and have become a laughing stock. Well, this is the person who knows, you see. They looked at it, seem to have been mad and have become as a laughing stock. They are hated and despised and may even be put to death. Evil, we say, must needs live down here in its own country. What? Evil, we say, must needs live down here in its own country. Its country is the earth, but not the cosmos, as some blasphemously affirm. However, the man who fears God will support all, since he has realized true knowledge. For to such a man all things are good, even those that are evil for others. When entangled with difficulties, he refers all things to true knowledge. He alone turns evil into good. The unmoving Nous moves matter thus. Since the cosmos is a sphere, that is a head, and there is nothing material above the head. What have I been saying? Nothing physical above our heads. When they talk about sphere, they're talking about the two hemispheres of the brain, not a round skull as a round ball. This is a head, and there is nothing material above the head, as there is nothing mental below the feet. Where all is matter, no Nous is the head. Oh no, sorry. So Nous is the head, and is itself moved as a sphere. That is, in a manner appropriate to a head. The brain. There's the cycle. Continuous cycle. You could say that, well, it's not really a sphere either, is it? But it's a, you can consider that the earth is a toroidal field. You can call it a sphere if you want. And is immortal by nature, just as even the body is made in the soul, so all that is united to the head has far more soul than body. But in further away from the tissues of the head is mortal, having within it more body than soul. Every living being, like the cosmos, is composed of matter and Nous. Let's go back there. Therefore, all that is united to the tissue of this head is the soul. Is the soul. United with the tissues of the head is the soul, and is immortal by nature, just as even the body is made is the soul, so all that is united to the head. Blah blah blah. This isn't sounding like it. I thought it would. When I'm reading it alone, it just seems so. It's just so more in depth. Seems more amazing. For the generations of matter depend on eternity, just as eternity depends on God. Generations and time are both in heaven and earth and have two forms. In heaven they are unchangeable and corruptible. On earth they are both changeable and corruptible. See how the seven worlds, arranged in an eternal order, lie beneath it, filled out eternity by their different courses. This is the seven inert gaseous layers of the atmosphere. All is full of light. See, each layer is a frequency layer, you could say a colour layer, yet nowhere is there fire. For love and the blending of opposites and dissimilarities have given birth to light, which shines forth by the power of God, source of every good being, principle of all order, ruler of the seven worlds. See the moon, the forerunner of them all, instrument of nature, transforming matter below. See the earth set in the midst of all, fixed foundation of the beautiful cosmos, nourisher and nurse of earthly creatures. Consider the vast multitude of beings, both immortal and mortal, and how between them the moon pursues her round. Okay, the moon is like the, what do I call it? The oscillator. It flows across the planets, back and forth, a harmonic oscillator. Let's read that one again, it's quite good. See how the seven worlds, arranged in an eternal order, lie. You could talk about the planetary waves actually, if you wanted to. Arranged in an eternal order, lie beneath it. See how the seven worlds, arranged in an eternal order, lie beneath it. Let's go back a bit, Everything must always be begotten at exactly the right place. The Creator is in everything. He does not dwell just in one thing, nor does he just create one thing. He begets them all. His power being active is not separate from what he has begotten, for all that is begotten exists by reason of him. Through me behold the cosmos open to your vision, and contemplate deeply its beauty, its body without taint. Nothing is more ancient. It is even new, and even in its prime. Indeed, it exceeds its prime. See how the seven worlds, arranged in an eternal order, lie beneath it, filling out eternity by their different courses. All is full of light, yet nowhere is there fire. For love and the blending of opposites and dissimilarities have given birth to light, which shines forth by the power of God, source of every good being, principle of all order, ruler of the seven worlds. See the moon, forerunner of them all, instrument of nature, transforming matter below. See the earth set in the midst of all, fixed foundation of the beautiful cosmos. Okay?